Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Isle of the Wild, our little mini zoo project for the newly released conservation pack, or depending on when you watch this, the conservation pack that was released by the time of this recording. And today we are building for the Amur leopard, the last big cat species that we missed in this game, and now we finally have it. And as you might already can guess from the title of the episode, this is the first part of a two-part episode. In the first part, we are building basically the main building, the backstage areas, and everything. And in the second part that will be released next week, we are concentrating on the whole habitat, the whole outside habitat, outdoor habitat that the guests can see. And and that's the reason that I split this episode in two parts. For once, already building this main building took a lot of time. Because I wanted to make it as realistic as possible, and this means a lot of tiny details, a lot of stuff to be considering here and there. And the second reason is we are at the moment have a giant heat wave here in Germany, reaching temperatures around 30 degrees Celsius and higher every day, and working in these conditions for a person that is usually used to colder climates is really a struggle for myself and for others here. So thinking and working in these temperatures isn't that as easy as it used to be. So splitting this episode into two parts was the easiest way of giving you some content and not doing too much for myself, so that I would sweat to death here. But I think this is a good solution. And don't be sad. I will also upload the stream recording of our Twitch live stream from when the DLC launched last week, where we looked at all the new pieces, all the animals. I will also upload that to YouTube later this week. So you're basically getting 2 episodes this week for free. You get it for free anyway. But so you still got your dose of Planet Zoo content by Pachacamac this week, basically. And we are building now for one of the rarest cat species, if not even the rarest cat species on the planet. Correct me if I'm wrong, because there are less than 200 individuals of these cats in the wild, all concentrated in a small area in, I think, China it is, maybe to the border of Russia. But this cat faces extreme problems with habitat loss, with poaching, and all that nasty kind of stuff in the wild. So these cats are really on the brink of extinction. There are programs to save them, to regrow the population, but at the moment, as it stands now, less than 200 individuals in the wild, and it's not really growing fast, because these cats are usually solitary. They don't form huge groups or herds, so when they breed, it is rarely. But even better that we now can have them in Planet Zoo to bring a little bit of attention to this problem, and also give them even if it's only an online or a digital home for them, we can give them a little bit of love here. And this is what we want to do in Isle of the Wild. And this building and this habitat itself, the whole area, is designed after Schwerin zoos. Schwerin is a city in northern Europe and northern Germany. Schwerin Zoo's Tiger Hill exhibition, a whole area dedicated only to tigers, with a huge habitat there. We make it a little bit smaller, of course, fitting to the size of the zoo. But they have a couple of individual habitats for their tigers. I think 2 bigger outside public ones, and also 2 smaller ones, and then the whole building itself, so they can easily rotate these cats around on a daily basis, so these cats don't get bored. They have all the enrichment they need. They can explore new areas every day and new enrichment items. And we kind of wanted to recreate that here, but on a smaller scale. So we are not having 2 big public habitats. We have one big public habitat, but that one that can be split into two habitats if needed. If we want into two smaller ones, if we want to separate the cats even more, we can split this easily via a gate system into two smaller ones. And also we have some smaller I don't know what to call it, courtyards or something. So very small habitats that are less themed, basically, where we can have the cats also if we don't want them to be outside. And then when we come to the night quarters, they of course have an indoor area, a big one, where they can sleep at night. But they also have access, you might see this in the background, they also have access to a smaller outdoor night chamber, indoor section. It's not very indoor because it's outside, but they have this smaller, the smaller courtyard that they can access at any time of the day, even at night if they want to sleep outside. If it's too hot indoors, they can go outside, sleep there in a sand pit, and they have some enrichment there. So it's really really perfect for these kind of cats that are that roam around a lot. So we get them a lot of space, a lot of different habitats where we can move them to, and we can easily switch out habitats or clean habitats here. So I want to really go into realistic terms with this one, and I hope I got it right in the end. There are some experts here on YouTube and in the Plants 2 community, like Lighter. If he finds something that isn't realistic enough, he can tell me, and I will correct it. But now this was recorded, of course, this part was recorded in the stream last Friday, and this part now here. You might see a little bit of a jump in building here. This was recorded afterwards, after the stream. And stupid as I am, and I'm really sorry that this happened, and I'm really a little bit embarrassed, I lost an hour of footage here. You can see that that the roof of the building is already finished. I recorded everything. I recorded the whole building of the roof, the whole stuff what I did there. It's not, apart from the roof, it isn't much else, but some smaller things here and there. But I was in the wrong recording window when this happened, and when I got back later to record some more stuff, and I checked my stuff, I saw that I was in the wrong window. I checked the recording, and basically everything was not usable. I'm very sorry about this. As I said, you didn't miss too much, only the roof, and I hope you can forgive me with that. Next time I will definitely check the recording information before I do anything to not let this happen again. Hi, short intermission from Pacha from the future here. I wanted to make up a little bit for the lost footage and explain you guys how I made these roofs. If you're not interested in that, just skip to the next chapter of this video, continue. If you are interested, it just takes a few moments, then we continue with the speed build and everything goes normal. But to show you how I made this roof and that it was really easy, I made a little bit of a cross section here to show you the different pieces. And it's really simple. I just had a layer of plaster as the lowest spot, as the lowest level for the indoor area. Then I just placed the new conservation grass roof panels on top, so that the wooden bottom doesn't stick through. Added some frames around the whole thing with these metal beams, and also with the glass. I had a normal glass panel here that I framed with some European marquee beams to give it a nicer and cleaner edge look, and also had some in the bottom, so even from below you can see that it's framed. So it's really not complicated, it's just a lot of copying around stuff, fitting in small gaps, and then you end up with this. And now enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you for listening, and I hope this helped some people. But we are now building, what I talked about, the night outside quarters, basically, where they can go outside. Of course, it's all roofed up and on the top, so they can't escape with chain link, as it's usually done with big cats. You don't have huge metal walls, anything. You can, but usually especially if you are smaller, so you go back to chain link and make sure they can't escape anywhere. It's strong enough, and so. Our cats are safe here and our guests are safe too. But of course we also need some gates, some gutters, some gates here, so we can easily transfer the cats between outside and outside. and indoor. And I draw some inspiration here from, again, Leider's amazing, I think, Wild Dog pack it was, what he released to the workshop from his amazing YouTube series, Research Done, YouTube series where he makes incredibly realistic habitats builds and explains some things that I also don't know about requirements for habitats. And I draw some inspiration here from that wild dog area, wild dog pack that we released. Of course, I didn't want to just steal his stuff because I usually try to make it my own things, because people think I have something against workshop packs sometimes, but it's really not the case. I'm just feeling it more when I do it myself, because it feels like I did it myself, and I have a better feeling when I do this. Yeah, so that's the reason why. And apart from the gates, what's the plan for the habitat itself? As again with the Siamangs, I want to keep it fairly simple, so no much huge theming here. The original from Shireen has, I think, like a custom water, little small river that runs through the habitat and goes outside for the guests, so to better immerse the guests in the experience. But I wanted to keep it very simple, and next week when you see the habitat build, it is mostly functional. It of course is still foresty, as these cats live in very forested areas, very cold areas, so it's fitting for the environment we are in here. But I don't want to go bonkers with the theming, maybe even less theming than I did with the Siamangs. And speaking of the Siamangs, huge thanks to you guys. I'm really positive surprised about the feedback you gave me for this habitat, about the amount of views you gave me for this habitat, and I really have to say thank you for all your views, all your likes, all your comments on this habitat. It was really a joy to see them, and it only confirms me that this place, or this what I'm doing here is the right thing, and that people enjoy my videos, which makes me really happy. And if you are still not a part of our little Jaguar gang, then I highly suggest hitting that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already, to become part of our little family. Even if you want to have even more time with me and my community, we also have a Discord link down in the description that you can join if you want to become a part of our little community, and you can talk with us about all the zoo stuff, about all the things zoo related and other things. I'm always there. Usually I'm mostly always active there, so I also always have an open ear to people who have a problem with anything. So if you consider, if you're searching still for a small community that doesn't have hundreds of billions of people in there, and that is very like a little family, consider joining us. We are always happy about new members. But right, we are now building a small viewing window here, so guests and keepers can watch inside one of the night quarters from outside. I used a normal glass piece here. I will later switch it out for the two-sided glass, I think, for the mirrored glass, so the animal will not be disturbed by masses of people running outside of its sleeping quarter if it needs a calm minute. And it's something that is that becomes more and more popular in zoos, to have basically a small sneak peek behind the curtain, behind the stage, so the guests can see how the zoo works from behind what they usually see. And I think this was a nice idea to have this here, so the people, even if the jaguar, if the leopard is inside, maybe on a rainy day or a snowy day, they can still see them laying there, maybe even eating something there, which I think is a nice idea. And yes, we are also now got the time to play around with all the new pieces. You already saw it in the construction of the building. I used the new 3D concrete 3D printed concrete and the new overgrown roofs. And later we will also use a lot of the new backstage pieces, new backstage tools, which are, still have to say, the pack is a solid pack, but these pieces are amazing. They give us such an amount of creativity and piece reduction, especially because before we had this pack, we usually had to make all the pieces ourselves. And now with this new pack, we can simply just use one piece and have easily have them in the game without a huge piece count and FPS reduction. And yeah, for people who want to learn a little bit about realism in zoos, these lines that you now see are usually in areas with carnivores or with dangerous animals, and they basically tell the keepers or any staff member that comes in that behind this line it is dangerous to be behind this line if you are not allowed to be there. We also make a little bit of a warning sign, caution behind this line. This basically means if you want to work with the leopards or with whatever animals is in here, keep behind, don't step over this line, because the animal can easily reach you there, it could attack you there, and because we are still dealing with wild animals here that can be trained in a certain way, that can be trained for medical reasons, but they are still wild, and if they don't have if they have a bad day, they will attack you. So yeah, these pieces of warning and information are really a key part of carnivore areas in zoos, and I saw them in a couple of pictures now that I got from backstages. But of course we also need some information boards here, some clipboards here that give us information or notes about which animal is where. Maybe if some animal has a medical issue, and we have to keep it in mind. If an animal needs to be fed or is already fed, these are usually used by the night shift or any worker from the previous day that want to make a little bit of a note for the next person that comes in to work with the animals, to know, so that they know, okay, if there's something wrong, maybe two cats got in a fight or something, and we have to look after them, or we have to keep them separated, and so no mistakes are happen. And of course we need some tools here, so making it a tool holder, I don't know what the word is for this in English, basically something to put our tools on, our brooms and forks for the hay and everything. Speaking of hay, I forgot to put hay in the night quarters. I have to remind me that I do that in the next episode. But yeah, some water hoses for easy cleaning, so we can clean all the poop out. And as usual, and also some water, hoses. I know what's the word for this in English. If we want to get a couple of buckets of water here, just some general tools for the daily work of a keeper in this area, so that they can provide the best care for these animals. And as I say, these packs are amazing. The pieces in this pack are amazing, and I love them. And I hope Frontier gives us even some more pieces in the future of these kind. Some small, maybe even some vehicles, because I think the most thing we are lacking now are vehicles, staff vehicles and guest vehicles for car parts. So if we get these, this would also mean again a huge reduction in pieces, because at the moment we are building them from scratch, but getting them in game as official tools, official pieces would be really help. But yeah, I will leave you now with the rest of the video and some music. And yeah, as I say, I see you next week with the second part of this video, and then we also do the real-time part next week, because I want to show you this exhibit in its full glory, so to say. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it so far. I hope you liked the video. And again, as always, stay safe, take care of yourself and your family. And yeah, you are awesome. We are awesome. You are an awesome person. Always keep that in mind. So goodbye, everyone. Have a great time, and I see you next week. Bye bye, everyone.